Drama, drama, drama. People love it. So, that's why today we're going to be checking out a video by HexJuice called Why Everyone Hates Tectone. Let's see what it's about. I want to make sure I'm not covering her here. Let's see. Let's put that in 1080. And now we'll go ahead and move over here. All right.
Welcome to my lecture. My name is Hex_Juice, the foremost in Tectone D-writing, C-sucking, clout chaser, drama extraordinaire. That's me. I promise you, if you don't like Tectone and you clicked on this video because you just don't like Tectone so much, I swear you're gonna learn something. I swear. I pinky swear it. I swear. And if you do like Tectone, you'll also learn.
I'm holding you to that, okay? I came here to learn. I better learn
something, but we're gonna talk about why everybody hates Tectone, in my opinion, to me, for me, therapeutic perspective, drama farming, obviously, causing problems, obviously. And Tectone, if you're watching, you're bald. You're bald.
You're bald, bitch.
So, obvious reasons why people hate Tectone: bald, egg, loud, annoying.
Oh, I feel so sick.
Mean, rich, white, obnoxious.
Ooh,
please.
Being white's a huge one. It's a big one. You know what? Everyone's just racist towards white people these days. Strange world we live in.
Please.
Last one would be
Little
male
strange how
privilege,
that happens,
pervert.
huh?
Degen. Yeah, Degen. All right. These are the obvious reasons why everybody hates Tectone. When I first asked him what he thought, his reaction was, because I'm a white man in Gacha, obviously. I think that's a really
Accurate.
fun content creator joking reason to say that. Fuck, we're in ads. God damn it. Anyway, these are easy reasons to hate anyone. Being bald, loud, and mean is an easy thing to point at and say, I don't like him because he seems very rude and gross. Here's my point here. People get really caught up in surface level shit about why people don't like Tectone. There's obviously been a lot of controversy around my mans. We can be real about that. Tectone is a difficult person for a lot of people. If you are somebody who values like kind of peace and sanity and getting along with everybody, you're
Or if you're also a mint picker. Can't forget that one.
obviously not gonna like Tectone.
Where's the lie?
Oh, ugly, you're right. We forgot ugly, guys. We forgot ugly. There's a lot of very easy surface reasons to dislike Tectone, but I want to talk about something in particular that I think is a base reason. There is a...
If I'm being honest, like, let's keep it a buck here. I don't think he's ugly. Like, obviously people are memeing for the most part, but I'm sure there's people out there that actually think so. But I personally don't think that Tectone is ugly. But, you know, for the sake of memes and content, like, fuck that bald guy, he's ugly.
A certain quality that Tectone has where people don't really
Fuck
have
him.
to know him. People don't really have to experience him at all. They will just hate him. Like, Tectone has this energy that just kind of pisses people off. Does anybody kind of get that? Because I definitely do. As a fan and like somebody who likes Tectone, I see that. I think there's something about Tectone, and I see this even as somebody who does like his energy, where something about Tectone makes people froth. Because I will say, as a content creator that is associated with Tectone now, that people...
It's because a lot of people in the Gacha community just can't handle hearing the truth, and that's normally what he says. He calls things out for what they are, or he just speaks his mind unapologetically, and he gets a lot of flack for it. more so than any creator within the gacha space. And it's kind of really fucking stupid, but it is what it is. And unfortunately, he is just the low-hanging fruit that everyone likes to punch.
People will literally click on a video because his face is in it, won't watch the video, and just shit on him. Just shit on him, shit on me for liking him, shit on me for agreeing with him. Won't even know what the video was. People literally like have this sort of unhinged reaction to how much they hate him, because I've said this before, but there's a certain amount of me that did not want to believe when Tectone would talk about how people dislike him. Like how often.
I just want to say really quickly, it's just like stuck in my head, so I just need to say it. I doubt she'll ever see this reaction of mine to her video, but I just want to say that I do really like her VTube model. The eyes are absolutely wild. I'm like so fixated there. Pretty awesome. Just had to say that.
People are, like how crazy people are about disliking him. There's a part of me that genuinely, in my heart, I wanted to believe that that was not true. I get comments about Tectone regularly saying things like they can't wait for the day that Tectone is found out to have CP, being racist, or grooming a minor, so that they can come back to my videos defending him and shove it in my face what a weird creep he is. Like that's the level to which people hate him.
Think about how fucking unhinged that is, to wish somebody has CP on their fucking computer or evidence that they're grooming a minor so they can go back to a creator's video just to be like, haha, like Nelson from fucking Simpsons. Like, it's actually insane. That's so fucking unhinged, dude. Wow.
What that means to me is I don't have a good reason that I can point to for why I hate this person so much, but I need something as severe as having child victims to justify the level of hatred I have for this person, because I don't have a good reason to put in this comment. So I hope that there is actual like child victims so I can justify how much I hate this person. That's a weird, unhinged, worrisome reaction to just about anything.
Exactly.
People literally will say the craziest stuff about him forever. And there's a lot of people who are disliked, a lot of content creators who are disliked, but that don't seem to have the same level of vitriol for the things that Tectone has actually done. I've always found like the level of like what he did and the level of hate to be kind of like the scale was weird. And so what I want to talk about is like, I think that there's something that gets under people's skin about Tectone. That is not just that he is loud and ugly and bald and obnoxious and mean, okay? Because he is all of those things.
Yeah, it's because he's white.
He most certainly is. He most certainly is.
The timing.
But there's something that, A, I think it is the thing that gets under people's skin about Tectone very often. And B, I also think it's the thing that makes him resilient to the level of hatred that he gets. And that's the thing that I want to talk about today, because I think it is something that will help you be more resilient as well. So I want to talk about this concept called validation. So validation is a concept that I think is misused. The proper therapeutic way that validation is considered in therapy is that when somebody says your feelings are valid, what they're saying is you have a right to feel how you feel. Because in life, sometimes your feelings are informed by things that are not currently happening. Sometimes the level of emotion that you have about something or the way that your brain is taking a certain thing that is said or done is based more so in something that happened to you before, or a feeling that you've had before, or your own insecurity. Okay, I'm going to use envy as an example, mostly because it's a good example, and you guys are relatively familiar with that whole thing. So
Envy. She's not talking about enviosity, is she? The one Mtash made a video on telling people not to bully him and whatnot. I don't know if this is the same person, but let's see.
That Envy's negative feeling about being called a mint picker is valid because he has
I
the
think
right
it is.
to
I think
feel
it is.
how he feels. His feelings are his own. He deserves to be hurt by things that he finds hurtful, even if we think it's silly. Just because something is valid doesn't make it true. Valid does not mean correct or true. Valid just simply means that you're allowed to feel how you feel. That's it. However, that does not mean that having the level of hurt by being called a name like mint picker is correct or right, and having a panic attack about.
And that is part of the reason why they hate Tectone so much, because they don't think he has the right to have his own opinion on Genshin Impact characters or metas within Hoyoverse games, because it goes against the hive mind and the collective of what they think of the game. And when they hear something that goes against what they think that is actually fact or the truth, or maybe just doesn't align with what they believe in, these fucking players, and I'm not saying all of them, but they lose their fucking minds. Like, I have even had my own personal experience with Genshin Impact players. That shit is fucking wild. One video, and that's all it took for me to realize how fucking toxic and obnoxious they all are. And let's be real, like, some of them are kind of retarded. Like, it's like talking to people on Twitter, man. It's,
about it is correct or right. The point of validity is that life is not about being right all the time, guys. And if I say to you that your feelings are wrong, even if you have a lot of reasons to be feeling that feeling, you're gonna feel like shit. But if I say, I understand why you feel that way, let's figure out what that is, that's way more validating. So if I went to Tectone and I said, hey, it hurt my feelings when you said that I was a drama farmer because of this reason.
Yeah, but they don't want to do that.
Oh man, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings on that. I was joking. It was not my intention. What can I say instead, or what can we do in the future? That's way better than if I said, hey, Tectone, it hurt my feelings when you called me a drama farmer. And then he said, okay, well, I didn't mean to fucking offend you. Seems like you are a little bit too sensitive. Maybe you should get over it. As a friend, if we're talking about a friend or somebody you're close to, right? That's not gonna feel very good. Invalidating feelings and shifting blame is bad. If you do not have self-assuredness, self-love, self-respect, if you can't validate yourself, it is going to be extremely difficult to love another person in a way that is going to make you or them feel loved. And I'm not saying you can't, but it is going to be significantly harder, and you're gonna have a lot of fuck-ups. And I'm saying this from experience, okay? The reality about validation, if you don't have it, is that you are a leaky bucket. You have a leaky bucket of validation, and if you can't fill your own leaky bucket holes, you're just gonna be spilling out all over the place. How are you gonna fill that self-validation bucket? Is you're probably going to require other people to validate you all the time. You're going to ask more from people than they can possibly give you. Everybody's gonna have to give you that validation, and it's gonna be a really, really tough thing for you and that other person, because if you're constantly requiring validation from other people to feel valid and you don't have your own source of validation, if you need everybody else to validate you, but your holes are still leaking, it's not like those things aren't gushing too. It's not actually helping. It's a facsimile of actually filling the bucket. Because no matter what you do, until you can fix your bucket and you can fill your own bucket, the validation of other people isn't going to matter, because it's just going to come right out that fucking bucket. It's just going to...
She does have a point, yes. That's why when I make takes or say my opinions or make statements, I know that I am always right. And you want to know how I always know that? Because I'm never wrong. Obviously, I'm wrong. Like, a lot of the time I'm wrong, but still.
Gonna come out of those holes. But my point is, most people realistically walk around with a leaky bucket. People who are hateful online, people who harass people online, people who are constantly fighting other people, probably don't have a very reinforced self-validation bucket. And so they're taking shots at other people, trying to validate themselves. That's why people say like bullies only bully you because they're self-conscious. That's a validation thing as well. Bullies only bully because they can't fill your bucket.
Projection.
You're gonna do anything you can. You're gonna hurt other people. You're gonna take from people that you like. You're gonna take from people you don't like. You're always gonna be seeking this because self-validation is like the very basis of liking yourself. The reality is that people have a parasocial relationship with Tectone, even if it's negative. Parasocial relationships are not necessarily positive feelings. I think self-validation is like one of the core things that will get you out of addiction. It will get you out of the drama triangle cycle. It'll get you into having a happier life. If you can just validate your own feeling, then anybody else validating you is just extra. If you already believe in yourself and you believe in your words and you believe in your intentions and you know who the fuck you are, you don't need anybody else to tell you that, but it is nice. But I think the thing that gets on people's nerves about Tectone is that, if nothing else, Tectone validates himself. Tectone does not need anyone to tell him who the fuck he is. Tectone does not need anyone to tell him that he's a good person. Tectone does not need anyone to tell him he's in the right. Tectone does not need your opinion to make him feel better about himself. And if you're a person who walks around who is not able to validate yourself, that's fucking annoying. If you cannot imagine what it is like to be inherently validated, that's gonna kind of be annoying. It's gonna be an annoying constant issue that somebody else is validating themselves, especially when Tectone is loud and bald and white and mean. Narcissists actually are incapable of validating themselves. No validation. They will always try to defend themselves. They will always try to get validation from other people. They will always uphold people on whether they're right or they're wrong. They will always need it. You are always going to be desperate for people to believe you. You are always going to be desperate for people to be on your side. You are always going to be desperate for people to like you. You are always going to need other people to make you feel enough because you don't think that you are enough. Tectone has a very specific ability to validate himself. I don't know how the fuck he does that. It seems like it comes naturally to him. That shit is crazy. I wish I had that. I had to learn that. The reality is,
I think that you just really have to believe in yourself at the end of the day. Like, I don't think that Tectone would have came as far as he has if he did not believe in himself. And I know that she's like pretty much saying that, but he really has been through quite a bit. And with all of the debt that he owed to, I think it was like the IRS or something, it was a lot of money, and he was able to do it when like a lot of people wouldn't normally be able to do that. And like, I have mad respect for Tectone. He's a great content creator, and he has definitely been through it more so than most creators. And I don't really think it's deserved. Like, it's mostly just for opinions that he had, and it's wild to me that like all this shit happened to him over like saying he doesn't like a character singing in Genshin Impact. Like, imagine that, like people just freaking out over your opinion. And like, hey, props to him, man. Like, she is right. She's right.
somebody who is validated can feel very similar to somebody who is a dick on purpose, who is a bully on purpose, because they don't need you to make them feel better. People who are validated aren't going to try to take from you. It'll be a neutral exchange most of the time. And I think that Tectone not needing people's approval has a very particular effect of pissing people off. So people pleasers are gonna stay in the middle of like liking, right? And people who can validate themselves are gonna be on these poles. people will really like you or they'll really fucking hate you for the most part.
Yeah.
Especially on
There's
the
no
internet where you
in-between.
kind of get put into a box. I think that is a huge reason why Tectone gets on fucking people's nerves. Because I talked to him a little bit. Let me ask him a couple questions. And I asked him, why do you actually think people hate you? And he said, I'm loud and bald, which is easy to dunk on. And I look like the guy who bullied all these kids who hate me in high school.
Oh, okay, bitch, I lied.
He also said, because I make controversial content and give out uncomfortable opinions that people aren't ready to hear. And I also don't give a fuck if people like me or not. And if that doesn't sound like validation to you guys, I don't know what will. Tectone does not need other people to validate him. Tectone does not need other people to think he's a cool guy. He's just himself, and he's okay with having fucked up because people fuck up. Anybody who tries to act like they are perfect are bullshit. I would say that Tectone is a kind person, but not a nice person. At least from my experience of Tectone, who has been very, very, very kind to me on a number of levels.
He's a little bit of an asshole, but I mean, I think a lot of people are to some degree. You know, you live long enough, especially in our world today, you kind of have to be an asshole a little bit because people will try and take advantage of you. They'll try and manipulate you. They'll try and take your kindness for granted. They'll try and use whatever they can against you because at the end of the day, we're all trying to survive. And when people aim to do these things, it's because it's all that they know. They are predatory or they're narcissistic or they, you know, it is what it is. And it's really unfortunate, but you gotta keep moving on. And, you know, the saying, you live and you learn. And most of the time, you don't want to fuck around and find out. If someone is telling you to not do something because they've experienced it themselves, you should really take their advice on whatever it may be, because they're saying it for a reason. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I've been there. So,
but like, people would rather you be nice. People would rather other people think that they are nice and rather control people's opinions of them because it's comfortable and they don't have to deal with like actually being disliked for who they are over actually being themselves a lot of the time. And I know I'm making a strong sweeping generalization. If the shoe doesn't fit for you, you can just say that the shoe doesn't fit for you, but you don't need to get defensive about it, because if the shoe doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. That's a yes or no situation. So I guess my whole point of this is that, like, if you see Tectone and him being self-assured pisses you off, work on yourself. I understand that his delivery sucks. Tectone's delivery sucks on 99% of the shit he says. Tectone's delivery sucks on fucking literally everything all the time.
That he doesn't care.
That's part of his character. That's part of what he does as a content creator. But if you cannot hear him through that filter of being a dick, and all you can get that is how annoying and gross and like fucking how much he pisses you off, maybe we should like reconvene and do something else. Maybe we can like reconvene and like look at why somebody makes you that angry, because the level to which people get upset at Tectone is weird. Not that you can't be upset.
People never stop to think that maybe, just fucking maybe, they are the problem, you know, and not Tectone. It's kind of funny. It's like people don't want to admit that they're wrong. They can't accept that they're wrong. And so they will just do whatever they possibly can to they'll go as far as to go into like delusion to prove that they're right when they're not. Like, you have to like look at it with a lot of clarity and admit that sometimes you are just wrong. Like, it's okay. It's a good thing. It creates growth. You learn from it. like I don't understand, man. But these people are something else.
Said it, Tectone. Not that you can't like the things that he says. You absolutely can, and you should be critical of content creators. You should be critical of everything, all the time. Not just people, everything, everybody, all the time. Critical thinking is a good thing. However, if Tectone's saying, I didn't do anything wrong, and you saying that I did when I didn't doesn't fucking mean anything to me, pisses you off, personal problem. You will be a bad friend. You will be a bad partner if you cannot validate yourself. And like, that doesn't mean that people can't love you through that and empathize with you through that problem, because it's usually not your fault that you can't validate yourself. But if you're an adult person, it is your responsibility to fix it. But anyway, say goodbye to YouTube. I hope that this helped you somehow. I hope you have a lovely night. Like, subscribe, comment, come to the Twitch because you miss a lot of crazy stuff.
HexJuice.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye. Bye, chat.
Be nice to yourself. Love yourself.
Yeah.
Validate yourself. If
Okay.
somebody validates themselves, you should look to them to see how they do it. Goodbye. Thank you for taking part in this drama farming video. Goodbye.
Okay. Very nice. Oh,
Content
not mean to do that.
creation
So, a lot of what she said is right, and I think when she's talking about being critical of other content creators, I think that she's correct on that as well. And it's one thing if people were calling Tectone out on being wrong about, you know, whatever, an opinion or his take on some new character. But most of the time he's not wrong, and usually I would think that he would admit that he's wrong. I've seen him do it before. But like, if you're offended by something that he says, I'm sure that he's more than willing to talk to you and hash it out. He's done it with another creator pretty recently. I forgot his name, but he did do it. They hashed it out and things are fine. You can be critical. You can give constructive criticism, but to just become toxic and attack someone because you think that they're wrong isn't the right way to go about it. And unfortunately, that is most of the problem. So I think that this was a really good video. I haven't checked out too much of HexJuice's stuff, but if you happen to be viewing this, definitely go and check out her channel, check out some of her opinions and her take on some of the drama going on. But I think this was a good video. I personally like Tectone, and I'm gonna go ahead and like this video. Let's go ahead and give her a sub as well. And yeah, I think that she has a pretty good take on Tectone as a whole, and her outlook on things is usually pretty spot on from what I've seen anyway. But yeah, I will definitely check out more of HexJuice's stuff. She seems like an interesting person, and like I said earlier, her model is really cool. My voice like went out for a second there. But if you happen to like Tectone, since we're speaking about him, maybe you should check out this video that I made about Tectone myself quite a bit ago. But thanks so much for watching. Like, comment your thoughts on the video, and yeah, do all the things. I'll see you in the next one. Toodaloo. Yep, that's it. Toodaloo.